I would like to start with your story about how you have been moving abroad throughout like uh yeah like your life. Yeah, like you just told me that you are not from Ecuador. You're from well, you're from Chile and Spanish. So like yeah, just share your story of how this whole moving between countries has been for you.
Yeah, so actually, I was born in Ecuador. All my culture is from Ecuador. Just I have the Spanish and Chilean passport because I have some family there. But
Mm.
yeah, about traveling abroad, I was born and raised in Ecuador, and then when I was 18 years old, I wanted to go out of my country because it was too comfortable. Like my family, I love everything there, but I wanted to do something big, and that's why I decided, okay, if I want to do something big, and there's more opportunities outside my country, to then come back and help more my country. That's the goal.
Mm.
I decided to go to first to Miami, then I went to Toronto, then Texas, then go back to Ecuador, and then Montreal.
Mm. What did you decide to go to Miami? So like, well, first of all, was the U.S. like your first option, or did you have like any like other options, like maybe Europe, since you have like the like that possibility, like to just move to Spain or any other country?
For me, Europe. Actually, I've never been in Europe. This is a shame, but I've never been
Mm.
in Europe. But I know I will love so much because I have a lot of friends from Italy and from Spain, and I love all the cultures. For me, it's a country where I can go rest after I really achieve my
Uh-huh.
goals and everything. So, no, actually, my main goal, even now that I'm in Canada, is then to go to the US. You know, the market is bigger there.
Mm.
I love entrepreneurship, so I think there's more opportunities. But Montreal has something special, if I'm honest.
Mm. How do you like Canada compared to the U.S. for entrepreneurship in general? So, like, yeah, also share with us some of like your entrepreneurial path and how that has been for you in these different places that you've been.
Okay, that's a great question. Just the main difference between that I see in talking with people. I love to talk with people in Canada and US. I feel that in the US there's a lack of this genuine interest of helping people, but they are more like business wise oriented. So I think that's good, but also in Montreal there's something beautiful. It's a mix between the European history, but also like the capitalism. I would say a little bit of entrepreneurship and the American. So it's a nice environment. Um, but I always had this entrepreneurial soul or blood.
Mhm.
Um, oh, what was my first? But what do you want exactly that I share? Like
Yeah, like,
I've
what
done so
was your
many things.
first? Yeah, that's what I've seen. Like, I mean, I've seen that you have done like very different things from like normal jobs, like at coffee shops and things like that, and also like your own projects. So, like, maybe share the first of each of those. So, like, your first traditional job, like whether that's in a coffee shop, the warehouse thing, or yeah, any of that, and your first like personal entrepreneurial pursuit.
Okay, actually, if I'm going back, I remember the first business I wanted to start. It was selling pineapples. I
Mm.
remember. I was creating the social media accounts, trying to figure out, helping also my mom because my mom has this entrepreneurial uh, soul because my grandfather he he was a very he created a very nice business in Ecuador. So I think I never met him, but yeah. After that, um, I remember that I started a supplements business in Ecuador. So I
Mhm.
was going to see okay um, people that I was already selling, and I was like intermediary. I think that's how you
Uh-huh.
say.
Hmm.
And yeah, I remember I was trying to create a brand very inspired by leaders like Nick Bear. I don't know if you know him. really having these.
Oh yeah, he's
Also,
he's
I was
the one who's famous for like running and like lifting,
yeah,
right?
he created the hybrid athlete,
Yeah, I know him.
like
Uh-huh. Yeah.
very great leader. Also,
Mm.
I remember in Ecuador there's no gym shark. I was the first one trying. When I went to Miami, I said, okay, I'm gonna buy 50 t-shirts. I invested in that, and then I went back to Ecuador and I was selling the shirts. I remember, and I did some money like this, and also the supplements. Um, but then, yeah, my first job, if we go more, it was in a coffee shop. It was a coffee shop of a good friend, and then I I had the opportunity of going to work in Miami in a logistic company of an uncle,
Mm.
and that was something that changed a little bit my mind. Being there, like seeing how big is the market in the U.S. Inspired me a lot to okay, I wanna really be an entrepreneur
Mm.
and maybe outside Ecuador,
Mm-hmm. How's Miami for that? Because I've got a like one of my best friends. He's from the U.S. He's like Mexican and from the U.S. But he lives now in Miami. And like he says that it's I mean like my perspective from Miami is shaped by what he has shared with me and by what I've seen online. But that is like one of the like maybe even fastest growing cities in the U.S. Like a lot of business going on there and like many things that people are like creating there. How was that? How was that experience for you? Like going to a place like that after? So in Ecuador, did you live in Quito or where did you live?
Yeah, I grew up in the capital. Yeah,
Mm. How was that changed for you?
I mean, it's very common that people from Quito they go for vacations to Miami.
Mm.
Uh, of course, like there's a lot of money. There's something that I don't love about Miami is people are trying to showing off too much. I mean, there is a lot of money also that opportunities, but there is also this mindset you feel in the streets when you're in the street. Like people, maybe they are making a video like a self video. If you do that in Ecuador, people will see like what this guy is doing. But in
Mm.
Miami, it's okay. No, everyone is an entrepreneur or everyone is trying to make something. You
Mm.
see people running streets. Then there's the cars. So yeah, also the weather. But also there's a lot of distractions. Because there's a lot of party, nightclubs, everything. So you need to be able to okay. I have opportunities, but also I need to focus. That's what I
Mm.
realized in Miami. But yes,
Mm. No,
I
yeah,
don't
I've
know if
seen a
I answered
lot.
your question.
No. It's a lot of like there's a lot of partying over there and like many different things that you can like just. I guess it's like in I'm not sure if it's like that specific way in Dubai, for example, but that you have like many new things all the time, and so it's like, oh yeah, there is this new thing, we should go there and like visit new things and like just get distracted with that. So that's interesting. How did this first experiences shape what you are currently doing? So like well working in logistics and like also having your own international commerce thing because I mean you took shirts from Miami, you took them to Ecuador, so like that was like international commerce in some way. But like yeah, how did this first experiences and projects shape your skills, your perspective, and like your path to do what you are currently doing? So like if you could just like share all of that story.
Of course. I think for giving you more context, I'm gonna mention these very fast. Uh, since I'm 21 years old, since I'm
Mm.
18, I think I have worked in more than 15 places. I'm gonna mention really fast, but I worked, for example, in McDonald's, doing everything. I understood everything. I worked in this warehouse in Miami. I also worked in a bakery in Toronto, man. That was crazy. What else I did, man? I was a lifeguard in Texas. I was a
Mm.
server there too, and always in this time where I had these jobs, uh, I was trying to understand people. I think that's how it shaped. Like no matter where you are, if you are able to okay observe how people behave, how people what they want. There's problems in every single industry. Even like when I was a lifeguard in Texas, even in like in the shore, in the beach, there's problem and there is also opportunities. You know, that's what I
Mm.
was like hunting opportunities in every single opportunity I had. You know, every single industry that I worked, and yeah, I don't know if I'm answering your question, man.
Yeah, so it helped you a lot to really discover many aspects of human psychology and how human interactions work, like how those two are merged, because like you notice problems and how those problems were influenced by how people thought. Like, did you see anything like that, for example, like in the differences of how people think in each place, like in Texas, in Miami, in Canada, in Ecuador, and like how that influenced the type of problems and the type of situations and opportunities that you were like discovering in each place? Did that, was that something? What was that, some connection that you made?
Of course, of course, of course. For example, in Texas, I lived for 4 months with four friends from Jordan, Turkey, and they were Muslims,
Mm.
very very good Muslims. And for me, my perception before that was totally different. You know, so traveling, it gives you this, it opens your mind. You know, I realized these people were very nice. Even I'm a Catholic, probably Catholic. You know, but we were having every night business conversations about also about theology, about religion, and that's, I think traveling opened my mind, understanding like what I said before. Everyone has problems, you know, and every industry has problems. So there's opportunities to start a business. But it wasn't until this year, man, that I was really able to focus on one single thing because I've been jumping around in so many things,
Mm-hmm.
tasting a little bit of this industry. Yeah, yeah, that I want that, I want that, because I have this passion of I want to do something big. I want to create something big. I want to inspire people. But it wasn't until I realized that if you're trying to help everyone, you cannot help anyone, you know? So you need to
Mm.
be able to focus, okay, I'm going to pick this industry and I'm going to stay there. So that's what I did with my agency now. Finally, like 1 year ago, I decided to jump in this AI automation agency with my partner that is in France. And he's okay, AI is a trend, is an opportunity, is going to change everything. Let's jump there, you know?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it shaped my mind. Answering your question shaped my mind to understand that everyone has problems, every industry has problems, and there's opportunities there. But you need to be able to focus in really one industry if you want to like create something useful and big. I think.
Mm. So I remember that you shared that, like, so you have your business partner and that he's like the one with the technical focus and you're the one with like the strategy and the business focus. How did that connection with him happen, or like the friendship with him, that eventually like led you to decide like, okay, we should start a business in this? Like, what did you become friends and like then decide like, oh, okay, yeah, there is this like technical opportunity to integrate this technology to companies, or like how did that happen? What was the story of the founding of your agency?
Yeah, Scalesia actually. How this is a very great question. How what is the story about it? Is we are childhood friends. Our parents, actually, his father and my father were they used to work together, and they were friends. We went to the same school, French school in Ecuador, and we were always friends. Not the closest ones, I would say, but we were in the same group of friends. But always we understood that we had different skills, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then he he traveled here to visit his ex girlfriend that was here in studying here. And one day in one coffee, it was a taqueria. It was we were eating tacos, you know, like in a Mexican
Uh-huh.
place actually.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Man, I see an opportunity here. I actually helped one real estate appraiser to automate some tasks." And then I was telling him about my experience in. I didn't tell you, but I worked in the biggest company of technology in Ecuador for 1 year, helping startups to launch their business model. You know, that was something that I did. And also, I was telling like my stories in sales. marketing, like, hey, more vision. So we said, hey, man, Nicholas, you've been coding since you are 13. Your father is also creating chatbots all your life. You've been in this tech world. And me was like, okay, more understanding people, more understanding uh, sales, how it works, human psychology. Let's mix that. We have different skills. Even if you're around the other side of the world, he's in Paris, I'm in Montreal,
Mhm.
and we decided to create Scalesia. Scalesia is actually a tree from Galapagos Island that is from Ecuador, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why did you choose that name?
Actually, I think it was AI. To be
Mm.
really honest, we were trying to, okay, tell a bit about our story, what our vision, and then we said like, AI, can you propose best names? And say Scalesia is a tree from Galapagos Island. Both of you you're originally from Ecuador, and yeah, man, we are in AI. AI choose our name.
Ah, that's cool. Okay, that's interesting. I mean I've used AI for not sure for creating names. Well, no, actually I have. Yeah. So like before creating this podcast, I started a newsletter called Value Lounge. It was like a newsletter on life design, and like that name came after like using AI just like brainstorm different names. But I mean I like that in your case it does make sense to like uh I mean, it's aligned. Like again, like the nationality and the tree that is from Ecuador. So like that makes sense. And
I,
then like
I want
how
I want to ask you something. If it's
sure,
fine.
sure, yeah,
Hey, Coffee Lunch is the name of the podcast. No, I see you're
yeah,
passionate for coffee. Like, where it
yeah.
comes from? Because my family, man, all of them are passionate about coffee. So I
Ah,
wanted to ask you, like,
no, sure,
why?
yeah. White coffee, yeah. No, like first of all, I really love coffee. Like I sometimes joke with my friends and family whether I'm like a coffee addict, a caffeine addict, or a coffee addict. I'm saying that I'm just like a coffee addict because I like the taste of it a lot. Not necessarily the caffeine. Like of course some days I like do need, I guess, like or do benefit from like caffeine intake, but like most times it's just like I really enjoy the taste of it. But like this came after like starting to drink coffee flavored drinks when I was like probably 4 or 5 years old. So when I was going to my grandparents' house and I stayed there, my grandma used to give me like this milkshakes that had like coffee flavor. And so in the morning when I woke up, I would just like so I was sleeping in the same bed as my grandpa, and like when I woke up, I just like did like this because they had like a small shelf, and like on the shelf there, my grandma had put the milkshake, so I just took one of the milkshakes and I was just like watching TV while drinking it. So that became like one first very core memory, I guess, with coffee, probably the first one. And after that, like I started to like those kind of drinks. And then my with my dad, we sometimes went like to Starbucks or one of these like more commercial coffee shops, and I always enjoyed like having a caramel frappuccino or things like that. But then like that eventually turned into just enjoying like coffee, like an americano or just an espresso. And like yeah, usually what I drink almost every day is just like my americano with my French press. That's how I usually prepare it because it's just like easy to make for me. So yeah, I usually just drinking this way. And yeah, like coffee has been something that I enjoy a lot over the years, like really since I was like very young. And yeah, like it's kind of part of my identity, kind of a joke, but yeah, I like it. So again, and like the name Coffee Lounge came because I wanted to have the name of the show be something that like had some like personal signature, but like I didn't want to call it like the Emmy Cigales show or whatever. So I was like, okay, yeah, like coffee is like some part of my identity. It's kind of a joke, so it's like a light name, and like lounge because like my first like big project was a book blog that was named the Reader Lounge, and so like after that project, I like have been using the word lounge for the things that I create. So that's like the story of both of those.
Super, man. What do you think? I always believe that coffee is like, it's like connection. It's like, for me, coffee is equal happiness. When you take a
Mm-hmm.
coffee, like your day changes, man. But yeah, that's very nice. Actually, now you see coffee lunch. It reminds me. I was talking yesterday with Sir Jan, and a successful entrepreneur here that is bringing the biggest network event here in Montreal, Canada.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He interviewed Patrick and David, man. This guy is bringing Andy Elliott, Daniel G. I don't know if you know these names
Yeah.
in
No,
sale.
Patrick Bay David, I do know. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and actually he has a cigar lounge where all his
Mm.
interviews, all his podcasts is in his cigar lounge. So you connect the coffee lounges.
Ah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
No, no,
yeah,
no. Yeah, and for sure, like the lounge part is like again something that I think kind of represents me as well because I really enjoy like lounging, like really just like chilling in a lounge or in a sofa or whatever, and like working there or having chats or like for me like just podcasting here right now with you is kind of doing that. So like I'm talking with you, I'm creating something, which is something that I enjoy, like building things and creating projects. I'm like drinking my coffee, just like chilling. So that's like another part that I like of that name, and that like I feel is very explicit in like communicating this essence of like the connection part, which is something that I actually love to do through these podcasts, like establishing these connections with other people and especially with people from different places of the world. So that's actually why I love to start with talking about like how you have been moving around and where you are from, because like in my last show I used to have only like, well, mostly like guests from the US, and like right now in this podcast I have had like, well, I have with you, I have had a guy from Serbia, guys from Mexico, from Australia, London, like other places. Like I'm expanding beyond just like the US, which is something that I like. But again, that connection and communication comes through this conversation. So like this podcast is also a way for me to kind of seek to inspire people to seek that connection, like with people around them, like the family, friends, but of course with people in other places of the world. So like that, with that they can start creating things and building things, which is what I enjoy doing, like in general. Like I enjoy creating projects, and I think that that's where we both connect as well, because you have been doing many things throughout like the last years, and right now with your agency you're doing that for the agency itself and for your clients. So like basically you are helping to build other businesses. How has that experience been for you, like building, helping to build other people's businesses through your
okay.
automations and services?
Yeah, that's a great question. I want to ask you a question actually, but
Sure.
about coffee lunch. But yeah, okay, helping businesses. I think that something is connected with Kruger. Kruger, it was called the Google of Ecuador. It was a big tech company in Ecuador, where most of our clients it was a B2B business, no, business to business
Mhm.
uh, model, where we usually when we are starting a business, we always think about, okay, B2C. When you're very young, is okay. The first business that I can do is supplements. Okay, it's for regular people, customers, but also companies. They have a lot of problems. That's what I realized. And also companies normally they have more money than most of the consumers. Like I would say. So this thing that Alex Ramosi says. Solve rich people's problems.
Mhm.
You know, because you can charge more.
Mhm.
And I was passionate about business. So I wanted to do business with business. What I realized is how, even if people know that AI is changing everything, they are not really implementing or adopting so fast. I think I look two scenarios: companies that are adopting very fast AI, and the other ones that they know that, ChatGPT is the only thing that exists, but I don't think they are able to even to measure the dimension of this thing that is going to change how companies are make and how companies solve problems. So it's inspiring, I would say, and it's totally different to yeah, to I would say connect or to deal with clients of that are owners of their company than just customers that are, because it's a very more logical sale. You know, with
Mm-hmm.
with companies it's more logical, more about numbers. Okay, if you can help me to solve this specific thing, okay, I will pay this. But with consumers, if I want to sell you this coffee, it's about more emotional. You know, it's a more emotional sale. So I
Mm-hmm.
think
Mm-hmm.
that's different. You know.
Yeah. No, no, no. I agree with that since I mean I've most of things that I've done are B2B to some extent, I think. Um well no, actually no, because like the biggest thing that I've done is not the biggest thing, but like the most consistent and frequent business thing that I have done has been uh like helping authors to publish and not to publish but like to promote their books and like I was going to say that that's B2B since they're like trying to think of it like strategically, but no because like they're individuals, so it's like B2C. But like yeah, what you are saying makes total sense because when I have worked with companies, when I've done B2B deals, like yeah, I agree that you tend to focus a lot more on like how the things that you will do will benefit the company, like in numbers or in sales or whatever. Whether like compared to a client is just like, oh yeah, this will help you like feel better with this. This will improve your quality of life and things like that. I really hadn't thought of in depth about that lesson. Then like another thing that is interesting from what you said is that like there is this not necessarily misconception, but this uh, shallow perception of how AI and these technologies are being used and can be used right now compared to like how much there is to be used. So yeah, of course, it's not just ChatGPT. It's like many of these other automation platforms like Make.com or N8N or these other companies. Like there are many other GPTs that are not like just ChatGPT. You have like DeepSeek or Quen or like Gemini and this
Yeah,
many
you
tools
know.
and like there's also like vibe coding, which is kind of a new thing. It's a new trend, I would say. Like yeah, coding through like a chat with AI. So like those are things that are becoming a reality right now. And I remember that I saw a post in which they were sharing like how the CEO of Nvidia, I think it was saying that like within the next 5 or 10 years, we will have like the first billion-dollar company run only by one person, and like that's through AI, like through having all the processes be undertaken by AI and having just like one person be the one building it. How do you see that? What do you think of that? Where do you see all of this going in the future?
About building companies like one solopreneur, like one company, $1 billion companies. If it's possible, are you asking me like what is my
Yeah, like
vision, my view on that?
how do you see like company building in general in the future? So let's say like right now you're building this agency, but like later on in some years you start to like get into the coffee business, and so you want to create a coffee related business, and you end up like creating it only by yourself or with a very small team and create something really big compared to like today or even a few years ago when you needed like a very big team to create something like that. So like based on what you have been learning recently through what you do, where do you
Mhm.
see all of this technology and project and business creation going?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Actually, I think there are certain principles that they won't change, and that I learned that in like the hard way. And maybe I want to just mention it, but it's first, business, they don't care about AI, they care about outcomes that you can bring. So having a clear vertical, a clear niche, because AI is too wide, you know. So have it decide, okay, I'm gonna pick this niche, I'm gonna help here, I'm gonna specialize here. That's something we did this like 3 months ago. So it's very recently, but I understand and I see the difference because now I understand their pain points, so I can propose outcomes and have it a clear offer. You know, that's like the base. You know, but AI is, for example, I'm gonna go more in the marketing side. That is where I understand more. Before you used to have like a team of 10 people where one person will strip the content, for example. Another person gonna take care of the SEO, you know, to pop up first on when people are looking for business. Another person will take care of, okay, what is of the ads, you know. So there was like a team of 10 people. Now with these LLMs uh, and with these tools, you can have like a big company run by one person that understands how to use these things or how to leverage this technology. So I was listening this morning, the Godfather of AI, you know, and he was saying like, what what profession you should pick now, and he was saying plumber, man. And I was really surprised. Like it will be like the future good profession. So how it's changing, I don't think like we're able to see how it's changing everything. But I don't know if I answered your question, man. Did I?
Hmm. No, no, that's interesting. I've got one friend in London who, I mean, he has been doing things online like for 5 years, like video editing mostly. But like over the last months, he has been saying like he's gonna get a plumbing or a roofing job so that he starts to learn like this very like physical skills and jobs so that like he becomes relevant once like there is an AI that takes over like video editing and I mean there are things for that right now like maybe not very complex video editing AI tools but like eventually like over the next years they will keep coming I would like to get into like how you handle clients in your company because I saw I think it was in on LinkedIn that you only take like three no it was on the website I think actually that you only take three clients per month so that you can like focus in depth in each client so like I would like you to guide us through the process of how you like work with clients compared to other agencies that just like take in like as many clients as possible.
Thank you, man. First, I would say you were mentioning about roofing industry, this industry is plumbing. We decided to pick an industry where we already have a case study, a successful case study, one of our current clients, and it's the moving companies industry. Moving like from point A,
Mm-hmm.
either you help commercial moving or residential moving. So, what is the vision with Scalesia is with every single client for the moment is building something custom where we really try to understand, okay, what is your pain points? What systems are you using? What is your processes? And then really our mindset is over delivering. You know, we love to have this long term mindset. Okay, maybe let's start with a quick win. We want to show you our how much we can deliver, and then we offer the retainer model. You know, so first we're gonna work in a small project. They see the value. That's how we started with the first clients, and then we offer, okay, the retainer model. It means, okay, we're gonna work as an extension of your team that comes and automates the process of the biggest challenges in your company to really move the needle of their business. You know, everything is ROI automations. That means that if we're saving you 200K a year, okay, we take 30% of it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a little bit the mindset. We wanna give like take 1 to 10 of the values that we're giving. You know,
Yeah.
over delivering, and giving an insane good experience. That was an advice that I got from a very good friend, Pietro, Italian, a successful entrepreneur. He told me, with your first clients, focus on giving them an insane good experience, like obsess of understanding really what are their pain points, and that's what we are trying to do, you know. So yes,
How many clients have you had until now?
so far we have worked with 4 companies in different industries. That's why, but our most successful case is in the moving industry.
Hmm.
So this is a current client. So now we decided to pick up this vertical because we were trying to help everyone, all the industries, and we can do it. That's the difference with AI. With AI, you can help everyone, really, every single industry. There's so many opportunities,
Hmm.
but what we realize is also there's a learning curve with each single industry that you go. Different new problems, different processes. But now that we're becoming experts in this industry, okay, we can really offer much more value, you know.
Mm. Here's a personal here's a personal question for you that I ask out of how I see my path for the future while I keep like building projects. So like right now you are working with different types of companies in different industries by providing these AI automation services. Um, do you think that like working with the moving industry and then like maybe working with a retail company and then with a plumbing company, do you think this experiences will shape how you personally keep creating projects in the future? So let's say that you work with a travel agency and that like 10 years from now you say like, oh okay, yeah, I know like the basics and the insights from like this industry, so like yeah, of course, why not, I'll choose to create a project on this right now. Do you think that will be kind of your path in the years to come?
That's a great question. That's a great yeah, that's a great question because 3 days ago I had a call with my partner and I was telling him, man, we need to focus 100% in the moving industry. And my partner, I'm very proud of having him. I trust him a lot, and he's very smart. Besides just the technical side, he's very creative. He was telling me, man, okay, let's do something. Let's take 90%. Let's focus on moving companies. I understand we need to pick our vertical, but let's keep a 10% open for new industries to explore, to see what is there, what we can do. So yeah, even now that we're focusing on helping moving companies, we're open to these 10% of opportunities of okay, let's explore, and if we see an opportunity, okay, we go and we hunt. You know.
Mm-hmm. Uh, what advice, based on like the experience that you have had with Scalesia, what advice would you give to anyone trying to build their AI automation uh, services agency to pick their niche? So like from what I understand, how you started was just like really providing services to any client that you could find, and like after that you found like this client who led to this success case, and like you're that's what you are like narrowing down into that. Like for someone just getting started, what would you suggest for them to find like their niche? How do you suggest they explore different clients efficiently?
Yeah, how I think your question of how to pick a niche is a great question. I'm gonna tell you how I started working with this company, with this
Hmm.
moving company.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So it was first week here in Montreal. I was staying in the house of a friend, and she was moving in to this house. So I was walking, just about to go to the metro. I don't remember where, and I see these guys that were moving the stuff 3 floors, everything. And I told them, man, uh, I think they were from Mexico actually. Can I
Hmm.
help you? Yeah, of course, help me. And I helped them to move everything. And at the end, I asked him because I remember it was my first week here. I was looking for a job, and the guy, I asked him, can I have the phone number of the owner? I would like to work with you. Yes, of course. After I helped them, then I used to go like every Saturday or sometimes to work moving the stuff, like really for this company. And then the guy understood that I was fluent in French. Well, not fluent, but I speak French. I speak English. He said,
Hmm.
"Okay, are you wanna have a position in sales for my company?" Oh yeah, why not? So I went with him. I worked a little bit with him. So I understood the problems, the industry, and then is when I jump in. Okay, let's start this business, Scalesia, and then I realized, hey, now I understand everything about your business. Let's we can help you. And then he trusts me. Okay, let's start with a small project. We helped him, and now we're working in a retainer model, really changing his model. We're saving him 200K a year. That's the just the outcomes where we increased his closing rate in 40%, saving him 24 hours a week in his time. So we're very proud of it. But what answering your question is, I think every niche there's opportunities in every single niche. Um, Things to look is that they are making money, that their average ticket is not under 1,000, I would say. So you can, if you're an agency, you can understand. Okay, I can charge whatever, but yeah, the ticket. But there's no perfect niche. Also, that's what I realized. Like knocking these different doors, there's no perfect niche. You just need to be able to pick. That's an advice that I got from a very successful friend, and that he's helping realtors, real estate agents. He's been doing
Hmm.
that for the last 5 years. He told me, man, with what we do, I could go and help another industry, but I won't do that because I know we're just focused on real estate agent, and that's what make us special. So I think every niche there's opportunity. You just need to stay with them and really understand all their pain points, and
Hmm.
yeah,
Do you think like if you let's say that you didn't meet these guys and then you didn't work for this company and like that this didn't happen, do you think that your other experiences like in logistics, in coffee shops, in restaurants, do you think that could have given you enough insight for you to understand the problems of these industries and for you to find clients in these industries? Would that have been another like path for you?
totally, man, totally. Every single place that where you work, if you have this mindset, okay, what are the problems you how what is the opportunities? My first job in Canada was a gym. Yeah,
Mm.
before starting going fully into entrepreneurship, it was World Gym, and now even now that we're focused with moving companies, is an opportunity. I hope we work together because I understood the problems there. So I think in any single place that you go, if you have the mindset, okay, what problems there is here, there's also opportunities. You can start a business, but you need to be able to focus on one
Mm.
single thing. I think that's an advice that my father always gave me, and now millionaires that I meet here, they are giving me, and it's really if you're able to focus on one single thing, it will make the difference. That's what I personally believe. And
Mm.
also, yeah, answering just to add something else
Sure,
is
sure.
my mindset is always you're one conversation away of changing your life. This quote is so true. Like that's why every day I try to speak with as much people as I can because you're one conversation away of changing your life. And it happens with me. Like if I didn't help these guys move their stuff, maybe I wouldn't never work with moving companies. Or like now people that I meet in the gym that they change my mind now. I met Daniel. Like yeah, you're one conversation away. So always be like hunting these opportunities. It's
Mm.
so important.
No, I totally agree. The main thing that I'm doing right now is like developing a travel app for a client actually through AI. He's
Wow.
a client from the US, but like I met him because of a friend that I made when I was podcasting in my other show and like in my previous show. Like that like basically that conversation that I recorded with him ended up leading to a friendship with him, and like that friendship led me to an introduction to this guy that I have been working with over the last 8 to 9 months. So like yeah, I totally agree with that part of how important it is just to like be out there and like just connect with people. And like I guess my dad is a good example of that as well. Like very he's a very social person, and he's good at it, and he also enjoys that a lot. And like that's basically how he has been moving over the years. So like he's a businessman, so like that's how he has been moving to connect with people, like just socializing and asking questions and moving around. So yeah, totally, yeah, I agree, that's one of the most important things. um I want to ask some other questions, like just before starting to wrap up the episode. But since it's a slight change of topic, I remember you had one question about coffee lounge. So like maybe if you want to ask it
Yeah,
still,
man.
or
I'm very curious. I see your passion, man. I love this. Just the fact that you texted me like, "Hey, can I do? Let's do this." I love that. Like this serendipity, building something. So I see you have this passion. What is your vision? What is your vision with Coffee Lounge? Where do you see it? Like in, let's say, 3 years. What's the best scenario? I would love to know where, because
yeah.
I would love to see it one day in one really your the sofa you were saying. I don't know where, but yeah.
Sure. No. Yeah. Like basically, my point for creating this again. So like, I'll share with you like how and why I started the podcasting again, and like where I see that, and like these two connect. So like, I decided to start this new podcast because of two things. Because I enjoy podcasting a lot, and I enjoy creating things. So like, this was a project that I knew that I would enjoy working on consistently, and that I would benefit from. And I also wanted to create something that would allow me to connect with people in different areas that I am interested in. So like, I am a very not sure if that's a word in English, multifaceted. Like, uh, does that ring a bell? Like, multifacético.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Like.
Yeah, like I have
Yeah.
like
Like.
many different interests. But yeah, yeah, I have many different interests, and like many different things that I want to explore. So like, I I want to explore like DJing and music production, for example. I enjoy like entrepreneurship and business development. I enjoy sports things, and like triathlons. So like, I used to do triathlons like probably 6 years ago. And
Wow.
like right now, I'm trying to interview triathletes too. I am interested like in technology and engineering, and so I'm like interviewing different types of like engineers and people in tech, and like people building startups, and like just I'm very interested in different things. And this is a vehicle for me to connect with people in those things, so that again, like now getting to the other point, like where I see this going. um this is a vehicle for me to connect with people in different things, so that eventually, for example, if I want to build a company in logistics, if I have interviewed like 20 people who have something to do with logistics, I have either potential partners, I have potential collaborators, I have potential mentors, I have people who can guide me, I have friends. So like, that's a way to create leverage in those type of things. If I want to pursue creative projects in DJing, I can connect with my DJ friends and like start asking them questions, maybe book a gig through them or things like that. So like, really, this podcast is for me a tool just like to one, nurture this creativity and this entrepreneurial soul of mine, as you were saying. I like that term that you used. Um, and also a way for me to create leverage in these different things. So like, 3 years from now, I how I see this podcast is really to like, is really having a lot of like episodes. So like, 3 years from now, let's say that I post 50 episodes a year, it would be like 100 and over 150 episodes. And then like, I would have like a lot of conversations, and that would also mean like probably having big audience, not necessarily a really big one, but a relatively big enough to have influence so that I can go to big big names, so that I can interview big names in different areas, and like really just through those connections being able to create projects. So like I would say like the best word to use to like synthesize all of this is like leverage. I see this podcast as a way to create leverage for me to connect with people, to create an audience, to build a network, to build projects, and to push those projects through the connections that I make with other people, and through like also sharing those projects with people in my audience. So like that's the point of coffee lounge for me. And like besides that, I also just enjoy it a lot.
I really like it, man. That's very honorable, man. Keep it up and keep consistent. Amazing.
Cool. Yeah, no, thank you. And again, also thanks for accepting my invitation. Again, I enjoy this authentic, like really just spontaneous conversations. And so like actually with this, as I told you, like I have many interests and I like to explore different parts of like person's life. In your case, one thing that is very interesting to me is that like uh, it's like moving around the world is simple depending on the country that you're going to and where you are from, but not always easy. So like many times you have problems with visas depending on how long you want to stay. You cannot like be more like longer than let's say 3 or 6 months in a given place or things like that. How has that been for you, for example? Well, yeah, specifically in Canada and in the US, like what has been that experience of like moving around for you when it comes to like the simplicity or complexity of like legal allowance for you to be in a country? Like, do you usually go already with some job or as a tourist? How have you like managed that?
That's a great luck. I'm very lucky because I have the Chilean passport, so you don't need really like a visa to go to the US or Canada. It's really simple. You just need a paper. It's fine. In 15 minutes you have that. And but also all the places I told you, like Texas. When I went to Texas, now I'm in Canada. I I I applied multiple times and I got, yeah. It's been a challenge. If I'm honest, even though it's been a challenge. For example, um, when I work in Texas, it was a temporary job permission for the whole summer, and then I went back to Ecuador. Now for Montreal, if I'm honest, you know what was the biggest challenge to come here? It was the language. I I failed 7 English exams, professional exams, to be accepted on the college where that's how I got here. Like legally talking, I'm a student here in a college, and where I study business. I also do that. Um, Now for the whole summer, it's just the business. But I remember for me it was a challenge because, and also first time that I applied for the visa study visa here in Canada, they denied me. I
Mm.
remember that it was really tough, and I talked with God and I told him I'm gonna apply the last time. I failed 7 exams. 7 exam, it was the one that I passed. My English, I was so shy. I couldn't speak. I remember in my school, everyone spoke very well English, and I couldn't raise my hand even to talk. I was very shy. And then I said, okay, I already passed the exams. Now you deny me the visa. I said, okay, I'm gonna apply the last time, and then I leave it in your hands. Otherwise, I understand you wanted to stay in Ecuador, and they accept me. I did it in the right way, and they accept me. And now I'm here. My life changed 360. So yeah, I thank to God for this opportunity. But yeah, traveling is, I would say it's simple, but it's hard.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it's
and I agree, especially like what has happened to me sometimes, because like I've gone twice to Europe. It's been the like when I've only got a Mexican passport, and like with that you get 90 days in the Schengen area, so like in the European Union. Um, but like some friends of mine who I've traveled with, they have like Spanish passports, and so they can like really just obviously like stay there as long as they want because like they've got the citizenship. Um, and like to even to other countries, they are also like it's easier for them to just get access to that place, and like that's something that I do feel is somewhat not necessary because of course like legally there are necessary reasons for doing things like for making things complex, but like really as a person who likes to travel and to move around, I have also experienced that, like having to figure out how to legally go to a country and stay there for the time that I would like to be there. And yeah, I really am looking forward to sometime in the future having the possibility of like a world visa or something like that. Maybe in the far future they create something like that that makes it like very simple for you just to be moving around the world and really to leverage opportunities in different countries, because like I think that also helps a lot. Like if you are a person who is proactive and who brings benefits to people around them, like of course it's a benefit for a country to bring you in if you're going to be a benefit to other citizens. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And I actually think that like getting a legal permission to be in a country through like schools or through education is something very common. Like I've got some no, actually, my cousin. Yeah, he's a doctor, and he went to Germany, like to a language school, just to get like the visa so that he could be there and like connect with people to then work in a hospital. And that's like how he then got an actual work visa and how he's like living there right now. But yeah,
I mean, I
like
go to
that's
school, man. I go to the school. I go to college, but it's I did 1 year of university in Ecuador. It was a really good university. It was much harder than here. So for me, I go. You know, I also study. I do both. Just
how do you manage that? Like, well, you're saying that it's not as hard as like when you were in Ecuador, but like, yeah, how have you managed like working in your agency and like school?
you know what I realized. Most the best universities. There's very good education actually. Even in South America and Europe, it's very good. Sometimes we think that North America has really good education, and it's true. The university is like, but it's three. Maybe the top three universities are pretty good, but the rest is just a business. So it's not that hard. You need to have these really incentive of I want to learn and doing the things by yourself. It's not like someone's gonna sending you a lot of homework. No, no, it's more about you. But how to manage that, man? There's, I would say, there's no too much balance for me. Like in my life now, at the moment, is just there's like my family is not here, so I'm alone. It's just working. Now when I go back to school, of course I need to go study. Then it's training hard. I love to train, and God, man, that's there's not too much balance in relationships now because I have this vision. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but I
I
mean,
keep keeping God in my life, and also fitness, having the right habits, and also having like a small circle of people that support you. Right now, for example, my friend William, also same entrepreneur, same mindset, is powerful. You know, you cannot win this alone. I think it's better to be surrounded of people that same mindset, same principle is so important. And I'm lucky that I found these people here in Canada as well.
so I've got four questions before wrapping up. Three of them are like standard questions that I usually ask to my guests. So like they're like the last questions that I ask, and like the one previous to that is one related to what you just said. So like, what has been your experience, and what advice do you have for people moving to a new place so that they can connect with people who can push them to grow? So like you are surrounded right now by people who are having their own uh, entrepreneurial pursuits and who are also like working out and who are pushing you in the path that you want to go. What advice do you have for anyone moving to a new city to find and connect with people like that?
Great question. Talk to everyone. Talk to everyone. If you go to a running club, if you're in the elevator and you're scared about the other person you don't know, put a great smile, even if the other person looks like he doesn't want to interact. Just try it, and also talk about your goals. Have courage to say what is your vision, because how I meet these people is because I met other people that they knew what was my vision, and they told me, "Oh, I know a guy that has the same passion of you," and that's how they introduce us. So
Mm-hmm.
it's also important to talk. To communicate what is your passion and what do you like to do,
Mm-hmm.
and people want to connect. It's gonna help you to connect with this type of people. But talk to everyone, and with a great smile, being genuine and being authentic. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. That surely helps. Then the other three questions that are like my standard last questions. The first one is, what is a book, movie, music album, blog, anything that you have recently watched or consumed that you would like to share?
I'm reading this book right now. It's called Yes by Robert Cialdini. It's a persuasion book. It's 50, if I'm not mistaken, uh, ways of persuade people. Really to understand human psychology is really, really good. Like very specific, very, very specific things. Even that you can apply for business. Really, really good. For example, one that I remember right now is when a business talk bad about themselves, people trust you more, and this is crazy. And it
Mm-hmm.
happens. For example, if I tell you, oh, I just have 3 clients so far, but we're gonna over deliver. So you see, I start with the okay, not very positive thing. We're
Mm-hmm.
small, but we are over delivering value. People will trust you a lot more if you say, "Oh no, my business is perfect. We know everything to do." But so sometimes you talking bad about your business or you, people will connect more with you and will trust you more. Like being
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable. And there's big companies have done that, and people react much better.
Mm, that actually relates to my other, well, to my next question, which is like, what is something that you have recently learned or discovered that is valuable or interesting, and that you also would like to share? So like that's just one lesson from that book. What's maybe like another lesson from that same book, or like from another thing that you have learned?
Okay, that's a great question. I think one, maybe it's not too recent, but it's very, very, very nice from this book that I recommend to everyone is how to win friends and influence people by Dale Carnegie. I think that book is insane. And I remember the story of there was like a fabric where there was two teams, in the morning team and the night shift, the morning shift, the night shift. And I think they were producing, I don't remember exactly what they were producing, but let's say they were producing computers. What they did is they were putting on the board the number of computers that the morning shift was producing. So when the night shift arrived, let's see, they saw 20. Okay, us, we're gonna do 21. And that was the strategy of one of the leaders. He just about putting the number in the board so all the works we're seeing is like so interesting how competition is not something bad. It can inspire people to create something better and to push themselves more. And also another last lesson is I think the world belongs to positive people. You know, right now with AI, a lot of people are very concerned about the things that are the risk, because there's a lot of risk with AI also now. I mean, the Godfathers, they are talking about it. I think we need, as humans, we need to adopt the more positive and really take action in front of it. Like, but having this positive mindset of finding solutions instead of oh no, it's the end of the world. AI will get much smarter than us. Let's see what we can do. You know, as humans are amazing. Like we can find solutions. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, thanks for sharing those. Actually, I think I kind of remember that one from Dale Carnegie's book. The things that I read that in 2021, I think. So, like, I don't really
Yeah,
remember
if you can
specifically.
correct me because maybe is what I remember. You know.
No, but I mean, it still is a lesson. So like, there was this thing that happened, like in this company, like that teaches you about like positive competition, and especially like for leadership roles, I think um, that's something positive, and that is something like useful to increase efficiency and to like motivate positively like other people. So yeah, I think that's a good lesson on
Totally.
that.
Totally.
And the final question, getting back to the coffee and the coffee lounge thing, what is like your favorite type of coffee? That can be a specific type of drink or a specific coffee bean or whatever. And what is your favorite place or a situation in which you love to drink coffee?
So my favorite coffee, I want to make a joke because my Italian friends they will kill me, but it's a cappuccino after 3 p.m. Because in Italy they never drink coffee like a cappuccino or something that in the afternoon. It's very bad manner. So I always
Mhm.
make fun of it. But no, I will say a cappuccino and in a rooftop. Sorry, with people I really appreciate having a deep conversation. I think
Mhm.
having like cappuccino maybe in a nice place where you have a nice view and with people that you can really have deep conversations. I have a few people in mind, and yeah, I think having I want to say even in Spanish because I know how to say this in English, but if you can translate it, is
Sure.
las las buenas conversaciones elevan el alma. And this even
Mm,
like a priest told me this, and it's so true. Like having good conversation, uh,
I would say
I
like
don't know.
good conversations are food for the soul, something like that. But like still
Yeah,
that
maybe maybe that's it.
but like
That's
it's still
it
the
too.
way to put it in Spanish is better, I think.
Yeah, and like coffee allows you to do that. You know.
No, no, no. I totally agree. Like, really, one of the best drinks to have. Well, just like chatting with people and like having those connections. Actually, I think I saw once like an advertisement from from I think it was Johnny Walker or one whiskey brand that said like go in as friends, leave as family, something like that. But I think that I mean that was their ad, but that applies to coffee for sure. Like just going to have coffee with someone, talking, and then enjoying your coffee, chatting, connecting, and living like as closer people to yeah closer to one another.
I I want to ask you now the same question. What is a lesson that you have learned in the last
Ooh.
days that really
Um,
shape how you think or really well you said this is deep.
mm, I would say like maybe this is slightly technical or not so interesting one like compared to like what you said about like the world belongs to positive people or like this story on like how competition is positive, but like I just recently discovered that like there is this one chip manufacturer in the Netherlands that like is the biggest manufacturer for companies like Nvidia, OpenAI, and like it creates I think
Wow.
it's 500 chips per year, and it's only like very complex chips used for AI development. Like that is
Wow.
a very unknown company that runs like a very important part of this technology that is starting to be very relevant and big in the world. And so like the lesson from that discovery is that like there are many unknown or secret players in different games that are relevant players and that have relevant roles to the things happening around the world. And like really just knowing about these things leads you to like understand much more how things actually work, and to see that there are like more complex and they involve many more parts than what you would think. And I think that that's also something positive to look at, because like if let's say that you are someone like, let's say a 40 something or a 50 something year old that knows nothing about AI, but they do know about some type of production related to like this chip manufacturing thing, like that's maybe their entry point to this technology. And so like with that, what I would say is that like there's there's a place and space for all to get involved in these big things happening in the world. Maybe like the degree to which their involvement happens is like different. For some it might be like much more deep, and for some like more shallow, but yeah, like overall there's space for anyone to participate as long as they like find more about the game and about the thing that they're getting into, because like everything is more complex than it seems. Like everything, like in this sense, like industries and like markets, like there are many components related to it, like components in like conceptually and like also physically. But that's like a discovery that I had that led me to like this lesson.
As long as you have this curiosity, is what you mean. Yeah, I know,
Hmm.
learning, getting some. I really like that, man. Really
Hmm.
nice.
No, and sure, yeah. Like curiosity is really what helps a lot for this, like to be able to find out these things, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to like find out what's happening. So yeah, like that. Thanks for asking that question too. Do you have anything else that you would like to add, mention, talk about, ask anything?
No, 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 no. Just thank to you, man. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate. It's the first podcast I've ever done in my life. Like, and I wish you the best. Keep pushing, keep being consistent. If you want to do 50 or 52 years, up or 52 weeks, sorry, in 1 year, one like every week podcast, man. Just encourage you. I think you're really good at what you're doing, and thank you, man. Go
Yeah, thanks
win.
for.
That's all. That's my
Thanks.
signature. Well, go win.
Go win. Ah, cool. I like that. That's actually really good to have like a personal signature. As I was saying, like the coffee thing was like kind of a signature for me. So like that's good that you have like your own phrase to, or your own like thing to put out there. So yeah,
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's so
cool.
important.